Hi, Shaun. Good morning to you. How are you?
I'm great, and how are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for saying yes to be interviewed today. I'd like to
My
introduce
pleasure.
myself. Thank you. I'd like to introduce myself formally. My name is Nicolette. I am the creator for the podcast titled You're Worthless. Read that again. The juxtaposition of your very soul. Now, automation. I wish I could automate a lot of things, but then when I think about it, on the flip side, if we automate everything, that will that make us lazy? But okay, let's hear your thoughts on that. But then let me read a bit of an introduction for our listeners, and then we can get right into it. Okay, but hang on. Let me just. How do I pronounce your surname?
My last name is Whynacht.
Why not,
Yeah, simple as that.
Shaun Whynacht?
Yep.
Okay. Hello, everyone. We have Shaun Whynacht here with us, founder of Blue Cow Marketing. He brings over 12 years of experience helping business owners simplify their marketing and sales through automation. His journey started as a young entrepreneur, navigating the challenges of running a business and quickly realizing that inefficient systems were holding him back. That's when he dove headfirst into marketing automation and never looked back. Now he helps financial advisors, coaches, and speakers streamline their operations so they can focus on what they do best. Okay, interesting. Okay, Shaun, before we get into the nitty gritty of things, oh my God, why am I sweaty? Can you share with us, like, what was it like growing up as a Shaun Whynacht?
Well, growing up, I grew up in an entrepreneurial family without ever knowing it was an entrepreneurial family until I was in high school. And that happened because I saw a poster about entrepreneurship and I asked one of the teachers, what was that word? I have never seen that word before. And they said it was basically someone who runs their own business, is how they explained it to me. Now, growing up, I grew up with my mom and my grandmother and my grandfather, and he had a TV repair shop in the house. And then my mother had a craft store after he passed on. And then that evolved into a cake decorating store that was in the house. So, yeah, entrepreneurship all around. And so I then, at the age of 17, wanted to start my own business. So I became a DJ and I borrowed $2,000 from my grandmother under the payment terms that every event did. I would give her. It was great. She wasn't much of a loan shark, but she was very, very, very accommodating that way. And I started in high school, and then I went to the community, and then went to school for broadcasting and evolved into starting my own marketing and video production company. And throughout the last 20 plus years, which doesn't seem that long when I look back at it, but it is over 20 years. I've been doing marketing, and then the last 13 years focused more on automation.
Why marketing?
Why marketing? Good question. So as you know, I mean, I started out as a DJ, and from there, as with any type of business, you do have to market. Whether you are considered a marketer or not, there is a level of marketing and promotion that you have to do. And as I went through and I started to learn how to do video production, I was naturally creating videos for other people, and was interested in learning, what makes a great video. And this naturally led me down the path of marketing to figure that out. And, over the years, it's all about figuring out where the need is, not just being stuck in your lane and saying, this is all I'm going to do. So I moved across the country and worked for a nonprofit organization called the Canadian Cancer Society, putting on a big fundraising event, and then worked for a video production company and learned photography with them, then learned web design on my own, and it just naturally progressed. So, a little small town boy that wanted to be a DJ and then went to school for radio, turned out to be a marketer for 20 years.
I mean, I cannot stress how important marketing is. Like I'm pretty sure you've read through my profile on LinkedIn. I was in corporate and then I moved to podcasting, and now trying to market myself as a coach. I haven't really gone into it like formally, like going on podcasts to guest as a guest, but I can truly attest that it is hard without a marketing arm. Like I'm doing everything by myself. So when you approach through LinkedIn. Like, what can I automate? Like, I want another me because because okay, I think this is, I don't know if anybody can relate, but certainly it's like only you feel that you can do the way you want things to be done your way, the best way. That's like, I don't want to, yeah,
Mhm.
unless, but then you have to let go and you have to, because you got to focus on what's important. What is the message? Say podcasting message is out there, but then you can't be bogged down with editing and you know. So I think, I mean, you've been in the market, you've been in the industry for, I don't know, more than a decade, right? Or 2 decades.
Mhm. Two.
Yeah, 2 decades. So that's like, how important is marketing? So let's say somebody is starting up a company, they want to venture into entrepreneurship. How important is marketing to them? Like, what are your tips exactly?
Yeah, for sure. And let's just unpack that term marketing, because you can market something and get people to buy it in a very inauthentic way. Uh, and that's not the type of marketing that I am,
Can you give an example?
right? So, you could come up with these, this product, will do this amazing thing, right? So let's just take, this little notebook that got sent to me in a marketing package. I could market this as like this magic notebook that everything you put in here will come true, right? And if I have the right messaging and I make you believe that you just write it in here and you wake up tomorrow and it will come true, there will be people who will believe that, right?
Mm.
It's not. I mean, it's a notepad with paper in it. It's never going to just come true, right?
Mm.
But when it comes to the marketing, is people do business with people, and the idea of marketing is just being consistent, being authentic to who you are, and getting that out to as many places as possible. So, you mentioned about marketing through podcasts. I mean, I've been a podcast host for many years. I've
You
done
are a
episodes.
podcaster. Yeah.
And when
Sure.
I started it, I called it content amplification, because that was essentially what I was helping people to do, is amplify their efforts. So they do one thing and it can reach multiple people in multiple different areas. How do you amplify that and get it out? And that's really where the automation piece fell into that. So
Mm.
everybody has a story to tell. I told you my story. And every time that I'm out, presenting, I tell the story of my grandfather who had that TV repair shop. And I remember as a little boy sitting on his workshop bench and going out to deliver TVs that he repaired back to the homes of people. And that was in the days before TVs were disposable. People actually brought them in to be repaired and got them back because they were so expensive. And it wasn't just like a delivery where it just shows up on the door and they leave, right? We were invited in to the homes. He knew everybody. We would sit there sometimes for 2 hours and they would have a conversation. And there was a huge relationship piece that was there that I think gets lost in today's world. And that's the part where the connection through the marketing you do, the telling the stories, creating videos of just, showing people who you authentically are is what is going to attract those people to you. And that's the marketing that just makes me get excited.
So basically, staying true to yourself, being authentic.
Absolutely. Right. If you're trying to be, and this question I usually ask every client that I work with is, who's your audience? And when they naturally just say, well, everyone, I'm like, no, it's not. And you've heard this before. Your listeners probably, if you try to be something to everyone, you're nothing to nobody.
Mm.
So,
That's
you
true.
need to focus on the niche that you have. And if you struggle with figuring out what is my niche market, think of your niches. What type of people? They could be in different industries, but are they the same type of people like you? Because you're going to be able to work really well with them. They're going to connect with you really well. We have clients who are dog people. They're in the financial space and they make it known in all their marketing that they love dogs. There's dogs in their office. So other dog loving people that need financial services are naturally attracted to them. This is where you can niche of the personality type and not necessarily industry if you're struggling to find an exact industry that you want to work in.
Wow. Okay. Now you opened up something, yeah, maybe a door for me.
And
Okay,
you did
cool.
mention a door in the very opening about does automation make you lazy? And I want to make sure that we get to that too in the episode.
Yeah, yeah, yes. Okay, and that flows nicely to my next question. What is marketing automation and why is it crucial for businesses today? Hi, I'm Nick Nieras, your host of the Your Wordless podcast. Now, if this real raw stories hit home, don't wait. Please follow, like, and subscribe my Spotify and YouTube. For bite-sized inspirational reels, follow me on Instagram, TikTok, and LinkedIn. Don't wait. Your transformation starts today. Thank you and bye for now.
Great question. So, I've struggled over the years with terminate marketing automation. Uh, More so, it's business automation. So, in all the work that we do, we're not just automating the marketing. So, let's say you record a podcast, you can automate, the transcription of that, the creating of the social posts, all that can be automated, so you don't have to be typing it all out, right? That's a marketing effort. But there's parts of your business that can be automated that helps you run it better. Like, you know, example for me, I absolutely hate the bookkeeping side.
I can do it for you because I'm an
I have a
accountant by
bookkeeper who does it,
qualification.
and
Okay.
every 3 months she reaches out and she's like, "Well, did you get all your invoices put in this system? Do you mark your payments and all this kind of stuff?" And I had to go through multiple different places to find
Yeah.
this information. Well, I put an automated process through Zapier that looks at when these payments are made and puts them all into one Google Sheet, so that when
Mm,
that time comes, I open up one place and it lists everything that's there, and I just highlight them green once I've confirmed them. And it took so much time and stress off my plate. That was a business automation thing. That was not a marketing automation thing.
mhm.
The idea behind it is we're busy. There's so many things that you need to do, and you spoke about it there about you know you can't you struggle with finding somebody that can do it just as good as you, right? And if you've ever been through the process of hiring your first team member, you may have gone through that. You're like, you have these big dreams for that, and you come in like, well, why don't they? Well, they're not you. I mean, you're
That's
so close to it, and there's a level of giving up that control a little bit there. So we try to look at three different areas of your business when it comes to automation. These are tasks that are either non-revenue generating, so the bookkeeping, all that admin type stuff. There's the potential revenue generating ones, which are the creating the content, doing the podcast. You can't know now that this podcast is going to bring you X amount of dollars in revenue, right? You're hoping it'll give exposure. So it's potential. And then there's the revenue generating activities. Those are the doing the actual work that people pay for. It's the meeting with the clients to either get more work or the prospects to sell them, right? Those are the ones that are there. So we try to automate as much of the non-revenue generating stuff to take you out of that, or delegate. That's another part. Find somebody else who can do it for you. The potential ones are, how do you become more efficient at it? A great story of this is a financial advisor who would spend 7 hours a week creating content for her social media and all of her marketing. But she loved
sounds
doing podcasts.
familiar.
She loved doing podcasts. So we have built a process that has been able to take that one recording she does, which is less than an hour, run it through different, AI podcasting, transcription tools like that, create all the articles, all the podcasts, blog
All
posts,
the show
everything that we
notes.
need, and get it down to 1 hour from 7 in there. So when I do my podcast
Wow.
and guests ask me, well, when's this coming out? I'm like, today. And literally within an hour and a half, it's published on YouTube. It's published through all the channels. There's LinkedIn articles, there's social posts, all that are made by using processes that are automated.
Well, you gotta tell me what are you doing?
Custom GPTs and Chat GPT are fantastic. Once you have the transcript, you can run it in, and we've already trained the GPTs to write in her style and everything like that, like
Right.
giving it previous writings and things. Yeah.
So the chat GPT that you can train that specifically for her show notes based on her style and
Yep.
her angle.
Yep. Yeah, we built a custom GPT that's in the paid version of Chat GPT.
The
And
paid version then. Yeah. That's
yeah,
what
the paid one, you can
okay.
make custom ones. And
Ah,
we set the
okay.
process that we go in and we hit, start, and it comes back and says, please paste the transcript of the episode, paste it in. So its first thing is to write the show notes. and note timestamps, put these hashtags, all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Once I click approved, it will then write a 750 word LinkedIn article that has been trained to write in her style. It knows who she is. It will pull out 3 quotes from the guest and put them in the article. And then from there, it'll write the social post. It'll pull out quotes for social graphics, give all the WordPress tags for the WordPress article from the episode. So again, streamlining that process to really get more efficient and bring you back to shifting you from, okay, I'm spending time on these potential tasks to now I've freed up 5-6 hours to go back and do the paid stuff that I'm getting paid for in there. And that's more effective and more important as solopreneurs, where you don't have a big team, you don't have a marketing department and things like that. You
Excuse me. Oh, wow. Okay. I need to consider getting the paid version of ChatGPT then. So
absolutely, it's incredible.
So ChatGPT, you can ask it to customize it to the how to word it in LinkedIn voice and Instagram and TikTok, those kind of
Yeah,
things.
absolutely. And if you go
Okay.
online, there's another guy that's created custom GPT you can sign up for free that works with your chat GPT called Showrunner. And what it will allow you to do is prep for potential guests. So let's say you have a potential guest you want to reach out to, you will actually put in their LinkedIn profile and it will come up with, what they know the most of based off their content that's there and ask you, what would you like to talk about? Then it will give you potential questions to ask them. It'll write the email for outreach, everything. It'll write all the show notes once you're finished. It's such a huge time saver.
But okay, now I have a question, Shaun. How do you make sure that you retain the authenticity in all of the, let's say, the podcasts that you make or the content that you produce?
Absolutely. So this is a big thing, especially with, AI coming out, and people will go to AI that don't really fully understand the, how to properly use it. And they'll say, write me a series of social media posts on this topic, right? So very
Yeah,
generic.
sure.
And
Mm-hmm.
you ask it very generic stuff, you get very generic things that sound just 3 other AI things.
Mm-hmm.
Key is you need to feed it your authentic voice. So I say this to clients. I'm like,
Okay,
listen,
okay, okay.
write
I
a
get you. I get
podcast.
you. Okay.
Yeah, if you want to write a podcast, I'm working with a client now who just doesn't want to sit there at a keyboard and type it out. But he's like, I'm driving a lot. I can record voice memos. I'm like, turn on your phone, record a voice memo, and just talk
And
on the topic, right?
yeah.
Transcribe it, and now it will know the words you use, how you speak. And your first prompt is, based off of this transcription, write me an article for this target audience, in my voice that you've just learned above. It's your words. It's just rewriting them in your tone. It'd be the same thing as handing that to an actual team member and say, take this and write me an article, except AI does a lot faster, and it can be a lot more consistent.
Just gave me an idea, Shaun, because I did something not really, I don't want to say stupid, because we all need to try something before we find better way to get it done faster.
Mm-hmm.
I type out all of my dialogues. Like I say, I cut a reel, I type the dialogues between, let's say, for you and me, let's say a segment, 59 seconds, I type it out. And then I transcribe it into ChatGPT to say, okay, summarize this in third party point of view.
Mm-hmm.
And I have backlogs of, I think, 58 episodes at the time. And I just finished 4 days ago. And now you told me, okay, we could actually record it. And then, yeah, I will do that.
Mm-hmm. And
Thank
the
you.
other kind of thing that most people don't know about is if you have ChatGPT and you download the app for ChatGPT, it has the ability to just hit the microphone and just talk to it, and it will live transcribe into it. So you don't necessarily even need to or you can just
Oh,
talk your article or your topic into it and then ask it in the prompt, now take all this and write me whatever it is that you want it to write.
you're a lifesaver. Okay, thank you. Okay, Sean, what are the first steps a business should take to implement marketing automation?
Well, the first thing you need to do is never go and say, I want to do automation just because it sounds cool and everybody's doing it. That is
Yeah,
not an enough reason. There needs to be a pain point, a bottleneck, something in your business that is causing you to meet the capacity of your ability right now. So it's either like I'm just spending so much time doing this, or I feel like I'm so far behind. If your goal is to record podcasts, we'll use that as an example, and you're finding, you just don't have the time to get the episodes out in time. Well, it's because you're spending too much time doing it. So there's some automation that can be in there. The other thing is there a disjointed journey that your customers are going through? So one of the first elements we talk to all clients about is, what is that ideal journey you want your prospects to turn into customers, to become lifetime fans of your business and what you do, to go through? What's the perfect step? And then from there, are there pieces between each of those steps where people can fall off the rails and either get distracted or have hesitations and things like that? So, you know, great example is booking an appointment. A lot of service-based businesses have appointment calendars. So, if you are the one where people send you an email and you say, okay, well, I'm available next Thursday, does that work? And then they take 2 days to get back to you and they say, yeah, that
it's
works.
already, yeah,
And you got
yeah.
to say, oh, sorry, that's right. It's unacceptable. Too much time. Use an
Mm-hmm.
online calendar tool that looks at your live calendar, right? We're seeing that more and more. Now, the goal is they book that appointment and then they show up for the appointment, hopefully. So the first problem you usually run into is getting people to show up for it. So automatic reminders that go out to remind them of this upcoming appointment. The
Uh-huh.
second thing that a lot of people say is, well, what I'm finding is I'm spending a lot of the first half of that meeting explaining who I am as the customer and all this kind of stuff that could have been done through email, videos, text messages, audio files, whatever, prior to them showing up. So let's
Mm,
automate that, indoctrinate them, get them feeling excited about who it is, so that when you get on that consult, you're getting to the real meat of that appointment, because they already know who you are. They've already been given that information. So we're automating those type of things. So the idea is automation just fixes those little fall off points or black holes that people fall into and bring them back on track in there. So that's the first step. And then from there, it's enhancing and making things more efficient, making you more um, effective in the work that you do.
wow.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay. How can small businesses ensure they're getting the most out of their marketing automation efforts?
The best way to find out how you get the most out of anything that you do is you need to know where you're at currently before you start, right? So, you know, auditing how much time are you spending doing certain tasks that are there. Then when you automate and put that in place, look at it after and like, have I freed up that time? Have I been able to get things out the door a lot faster? Do I feel better? Right? Do I feel that my business is running the way I want it? So many business owners lay awake at night wondering, am I missing leads? Are people coming to my website? Are they filling out this form and is it just not coming to me? Or you get emails from people say, hey, I sent you this message on your website and haven't heard back. And you're like, well, I don't remember seeing that. Well, if you can eliminate that and know that there's a consistent um, system in place to nurture that, receive that, make sure the follow-up's happening, you can finish your day and you can enjoy your life. I mean, that's the reason I'm doing what I'm doing is I wanted the lifestyle that I could take my son to school in the morning. I could go to his events. Tomorrow he's got no school. I'm taking the day off. Like we're going to hang out together because I have the systems in place to know that things are going to be followed up with in there. So that's what I want people to have. Right. So you will know if it's working for you. It's
Mm,
just an innate feeling you will have inside.
mm. Thank you.
Now,
It's
I
like
want
a
to come back to that
realization.
that question of laziness because I think
Yes, yes, please.
that's a key point in here because when you say automation, and I hear this from people, it's like automation sounds cold, it sounds robotic, it sounds
Yeah.
non-authentic that's in there.
Yeah.
Yes, it can be if you automate everything, right? If you want a business that you can just spend, 52 weeks a year on a beach, sipping cocktails and whatever, and not do a thing, you just shouldn't be in business, right? Like, this is where automation shouldn't be cold. And can it make you lazy? It can, if you are somebody who is naturally looking for a laziness side of business. But a lot of people aren't. They want to help their clients, right? And
Yeah.
they realize that their ability to help is limited by the things that are holding them back, that when automation is put in place, right, they can do more. So we don't automate an entire journey for somebody. There are parts in there that we say, okay, after 2 automated emails, and AI is making it a lot better right now. And I'll give you an example. Just before the call, I was working on something, but we then have a task internally to the business owner to say, reach out by phone now and call them, or write a handwritten card and mail it to them at this point, right? So we have to interject reminders to be human in there and create those personal touches that's in there. What I mentioned just moments ago was we have a client who's in the counseling world, and they do this lifestyle assessment. And people answer all these questions, and it grades you on which areas of 5 different areas are you doing really well and which ones need improvement. Well, naturally, you could automate just a generic email sequence after that everybody gets the exact same thing. Using AI in what we use as Go High Level for our CRM and for our clients' systems is we can train that chat GPT element within the CRM to look at all the answers to it. So every category of the 5 has about 6 questions that they answered in there. And it can then average those out, figure out which category they're doing really well in, which ones they're doing not so great. And everybody gets a custom email specific to them through every email that comes out. So what I answered is going to be different than what you get and what the next person gets, because now we're providing authentic, real responses based off of what that business owner would have normally just done manually if they had to write it out. And then again, it's been trained in the way that he writes and everything. So it is coming more personal that way.
I knew this was gonna be a great podcast. When you were talking, I had so many ideas in my head already, and then I'm like, there's only one Nicolette right now. I was already thinking, like, should I be hiring somebody else? But yeah, I would like to come up to the part where how can people reach out to you? Perhaps we need your help.
Absolutely. So, our website is bluecowmarketing.ca, not
Mhm.
.com. We don't have that one. Somebody else does. So it's .ca because we are in Canada.
Canada.
Even if you Google Blue Cow Marketing, you'll find all our LinkedIn channels as well. If you want to book some time to just chat about what it is that you're struggling with, it's just bluecowmarketing.ca/coffee. I love drinking coffee. I call it a virtual coffee. That's what it is. It is not a sales call. It's 30 minutes you get of my time where we can just talk about what it is that you either have an idea with or what you're struggling with. And I'll give you some recommendations. If it works out that we work together, great. If I can help you in that 30 minutes, perfect. So that's how you can reach out to me.
Awesome. I'll be sure to include that in the show notes.
Excellent.
So, Shaun, okay, I think we talk about this, but then can you explain what the customer journey is and why it's important for businesses?
Absolutely. So a customer journey is the experience a prospect. So, a prospect is somebody who, potentially could work with you, buy your product, buy your service. So from the moment they become problem aware, which means they have a problem. So, maybe you are a landscaper and, somebody comes out one day and they realize their lawn has all these weeds. So they become problem aware. So then they start to look online for solutions for that and they come across your website. That's the beginning of the journey with you. They may have not talked to you, so they're seeing your website. Maybe they're referred to you by somebody says, hey, go to their LinkedIn, go to their social media channels. And then they come through and they call you, they come to your place of business, they book online. All these elements are an experience they go through, from when they talk to you, to the sales process, to how you deliver your service, to after the follow-up, the referral ask, all that. It is crucial to have a consistent journey built in your business. And the number one reason that is because if you rely on referrals at the end of people saying, can you refer some of your friends? If you don't have a consistent journey, and Sarah comes through and she has a great experience, and then she refers 3 of her friends, they come through and it's not a great experience because you don't have consistency there. That isn't only as bad looking on you as a business owner, but that hurts that customer who referred them, because they're going to come back to their friend and be like, hey, you just referred me there and it was a horrible experience, right? So now you've hurt 2 relationships in that. And you also can't scale, right? You can't bring somebody into that business and be as great as you if it's not documented. And you're like, here's how we do this. We do a call, then we do a proposal, then we follow up, then we, do this. I send every client that comes on board with us, what's called a sugar wish. And it's a custom made box that comes, that has a printed card thanking them as a client. It's got their logo in it. It's got, 4 different types of candy in it, and it comes to them in there. If I didn't have that in the process, some people would get it, some people wouldn't. My CRM tells me as soon as their initial invoice is paid, then I'm tasked to go and send that out.
Wow. You really take care of your customers.
I love my customers. And I was talking on LinkedIn to a lady that I met last evening, and she had built an agency to 10 people and sold it. And I said, I never want to grow to the point where I don't know every single one of my clients, right? And from the moment of starting business, I never wanted to be that huge agency where everybody's just a number and I have to come in and be like, well, what are our sales at? This kind of thing. I need to know everything, not everything, but I need to know at least something about every single client. And holiday cards are one of my pet peeves. I get holiday cards where people print their signatures on it because they send so many out, right? I will actually pick up the card, here. So I was on a podcast before and I got this in there, right? It's a handwritten card. She actually wrote on that, thanking me to be on the show, right? It came, I know it's handwritten, it's on there. I will actually feel the signatures on the card. If I don't feel the imprint that was written by a pen, I know you didn't see that. So every year I buy 50 holiday cards. I have more than 50 clients, but I handpick clients that I know we've had an engagement over the year, and I write a custom message in every single one of them and send it out, because that's important to me. Those 50 are far better connections to send that out than sending out 500 that are just mass produced.
Generic. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I try to do that with every review that I leave for my guests. I haven't gotten to the point of thanking my customers just yet. But yeah, I will do that for sure. Thank you for reminding me. How can businesses map out their customer journey effectively?
Well, I mean, the best way to do this is to sit down with one of the clients that you have, worked with, right? If they're willing to come in and sit down with you, maybe take them out for coffee or whatever. This has been the best way, because you let them know I'm going to map out my journey, and this is the way I see it. They will provide a different perspective because they've been through what it is, right? So if you say, well, this is, and they're like, well, a minute, you did this too. And like, oh, you forget it. Because we're so close to our business, we just take things for granted and we skip over things because we just do it. But the client sees it, they feel it. Or you could say, this is what I'm going to do, or what I do. And then they say, well, I didn't receive that, right? So now, okay, there's something missing there because you have the best intention. So just think about it through the eyes of somebody coming through. And if you're new, dream big, right? When we're building automation for clients, I say, forget everything that you could even think is possible with technology and give me the Disney World
The
dream
wildness.
of your business, right? And then from there, we'll take that and we're like, okay, we can do that. We can do these 10 things. We think we can do these things, and these things, I don't know, maybe there's an alternate way or something the manual has to be done
Mm.
from there. So then we start to build it from that point, right? It's the difference between, getting a custom home builder that is going to come in and say, what do you want? And they're going to draft up a plan, get engineers to do all that, versus the one where you just walk on and buy something from a plan book and like, oh yeah, this is the one that I want, right? So dream big in it. So because that's what you need.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Wow. Okay. Thank you. What are some practical AI tools that small businesses can start using today? Becoming a podcast host was a natural extension of my second act. And after spending 15 years in the corporate world, I've transitioned to helping individuals overcome challenges like navigating tough relationships, career burnout, and aligning their mission with their soul's calling. By certifying as an RTT hypnotherapist and a lifestyle coach, I've made it my mission to empower people to recreate the life they deserve and building a supportive community through my podcast. Now, let me ask, are you facing challenges like struggling to reprogram your mind to attract wealth, weight issues that feel like a constant yo yo, insomnia or restless nights from daily worries, or just a lack of confidence in public speaking? If the answer is yes, visit www.thenicknearholisticlifestyle.com and grab a free hypnosis audio of these common struggles. It's a sneak peek into how my coaching works. Are you feeling shy? Don't be, because I'm as real as it gets. Let's connect on Instagram and LinkedIn and start your transformation today.
Oh, hands down, ChatGPT, I think, is the best one so far. There are many other AI tools that are out there. Some people like other ones. ChatGPT has just been the most common one that people know.
Mm.
And it can do so much more than just writing content for you. Can brainstorm some ideas. It can, the voice app one for your phone. You can pair it while you're driving, and you can just have a conversation with it. And you say, "Hey, I'm thinking of this. What do you think?" And it will respond back, and you can talk to it back and forth. It's great that way. So that's one. Another one that we use all the time for content creation is Descript, because we can take audio recordings, we can take podcasts, and we can put it in there. So when I do my podcast, I get the 2 video files, just like you probably get with this, and I drop it in, and it makes the video, the main YouTube video. But I can use the AI tools to say, create 6 social clips, looking for this, and it will actually edit them, position them for reels, everything automatically in there. So that's a great tool to use. And then lastly, I think if you are struggling with tasks, there's a site called Motion. The website is called usemotion.com. It's a project management tool, but it connects with your calendar. And when you task yourself and put deadlines, it'll actually schedule those things in your calendar. And then if you don't mark them complete, it will actually find the next available time in the future for that fits in there. So if you can just live off your calendar and say, okay, here are the 6 things I'm doing today, because it goes in between your appointments, it keeps you on task, and it's great from the AI side of it.
Thank you. Well, it's also, again, because I come from a project management background as well. And it's like, it's good that it's reminding you all the time, but it's also, I guess it's also important that you know the balance, because if you see that thing has been there for the longest time ever, and it is still there until a week after that, and then it's like really, you're like, why can't I finish this?
Right.
And then you start blaming yourself, right? And then you start, why wasn't I effective enough in finishing this? And then you feel low, and that's when you start feeling, am I good enough? I mean, that can spiral very quickly.
That's right.
Yeah, especially when you're really bogged down and when you're a solopreneur.
Mhm.
You try to do everything at once by yourself because you don't want to let go.
Absolutely.
What? Okay, so I think because you've established, right? It's been your, it's been 2 decades for you. What was it like for you when you first started it? How did you juggle?
Wow, it takes me back a while. I mean, for most of my like early on entrepreneurial life, uh, I was I was working a job and running my business. So, and that's a very common thing.
Yeah.
And, I moved across the country and, sold off, I shut down my video production business and I moved across the country and kind of started up over there again and started a branding agency and all this kind of stuff. But still had a job, still found work because, the business just wasn't enough to sustain on. And then there was a point where I was selling newspaper ads, which if you've ever done advertising sales is horrible unless you love to do that. I didn't. I don't like going in and trying to sell somebody on something that I don't think they really want me to be there.
Right.
So I found myself making excuses not to go in. I would go to Walmart and buy like chocolate bars and sit in my car and just eat chocolate because I was wallowing in the self-pity of the job. Right. So I had gotten a contract as an event photographer, shooting concerts and stuff at a local event venue. And it gave enough income for me to be like, I'm taking the leap. Scariest thing I've ever done,
Wow.
not working on consistent income and working for my business. And I never took a job after that. I was solely doing what I was meant to do. And I truly believe in serendipity and things happen for a reason.
Mhm.
So, as that evolved, I learned the photography side from, another job that I had. And I learned that. And then it was like, okay, I need to learn web design. So I taught myself that. And then I learned social media, how to market in there. And then I became certified in marketing automation. So over the years, it's always been looking to where the need was and learning. I'm the kid who would tear something apart to figure out how it worked. And then I would put it back together and maybe try to make it better. I'm this is probably a little strange of a story, but most people don't know unless they know me personally. I'm also a certified pyrotechnician and fireworks technician.
Wow. So
So
you know how to handle those
yeah,
fireworks.
I know
Okay.
now how to safely handle it. But as a kid, I would buy or get those little fireworks you get at like a gas station, and I would cut them open, take the powder out, and build new fireworks from the materials in it and test them out.
Wow.
Very unsafe, but that was
Very.
how my brain worked. I still
Wow.
have all my fingers, just so you know.
Okay, thank God.
I never injured myself with it. But that's the thing is asking the question like, why does this do this? Or why do people ask this question? Right? That's the kind of thing is, can I answer those questions for people? And that's just been the natural progression over the years.
I am just so pumped up right now, Sean. Tomorrow I wake up, I'm gonna make sure all of my maybe it's gonna take 3 days for me to clear my backlogs from my podcast and then I'm gonna automate them. Yay. I don't know how, but I'm gonna use all of the things that we discussed today. Okay, Sean, what work are you most proud of so far?
What work am I most proud of?
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. Well, I've worked with lots of clients over the years, and my ultimate goal is to give them back some time. The work that I'm proud of, and I to this day don't know if it turned into anything, is I get to go in every now and then and speak to students about entrepreneurship and the the lifestyle of being your own business owner and things like that. And I wish that had been there in school when I was in school because I had to find out from
Yeah.
the wall what it was that was there. So being able to go out and tell my story to young minds that may someday become an entrepreneur still is the thing that I'm most passionate about.
Mm-hmm. Why, thank you. So, what are you working on currently?
So right now, I am in the process of building a team. So not a team that's in my office here. I work from home. I have an office building that's here. Um, I struggle with the same thing that people had where it's like, okay, well, I can't find another me. I can't find somebody that's clone that can do video, can do copy, can do this, because I've naturally for 20 years have been a student of all this and have learned it. So I needed to delegate that and figure out it. So I found an amazing VA company that has many different team members in all different specialties. So while I'm focused myself on what I love, which is the automation side, I know that to serve and help people more, we need to be able to do social media management. We need to be able to do SEO. We need to be able to do web design, to scale,
Yeah.
so that we can help people overcome those challenges. And when you get to work with somebody who understands who you are as a business, and have that kind of one point of contact to be able to do all that, you get a better product and a better experience. So, ultimately, I would like to be able to do automation for everyone, but not everybody's a fit. So we want to help as many people as possible. So we're in the process of just rolling out actually this week a new service line for all those different things, which is exciting to me because they worked for me marketing my business for the last 3 months, have blown me away with the customer experience that I said, I need to take this experience and offer it to our clients. And they're an amazing team.
Wow. So you're expanding.
I am expanding, and
Wow.
I'm expanding for the reason that for the first time when I think of expanding, I'm not like, this is going to be more work for me, right?
Mm-hmm.
You worry that, are things falling through the crack. I can actually take tomorrow off and know that the projects that this team is working on with me is being handled and work is still progressing, right? I
Wow. My gosh.
have that.
Yeah.
And it comes down to life and health and all that stuff that we really want, right?
Mm-hmm.
Early on in your entrepreneurial life, you have to put in that extra time. You have to grind it
Oh,
out.
sure. For
But you will
sure.
come to that peak where you're like, it's just not worth it, right? Life is too short to just be burning yourself out. I mean, I'm 43. That's a lot of people say it's young. I mean, I can wake up in the morning and feel like I've been through a street fight and I don't know what happened.
Yes.
Right? But
Yes. Oh,
that's the
you've
problem
been
with turning
run
40.
over or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? Every time I throw my back out, it's never been like, wrestling a tiger or like, doing anything like that. It's been picking up laundry, right?
Uh-huh.
So there's more to life to this now. And I can realize that I can still help more people with the quality, with the service that I want by finding the right team. And I wholeheartedly feel that I've found that finally.
Yeah, I can feel it too. It's like, and it also takes a lot of trial and error as well and perseverance over the years for you to come to this point and say, okay, I think I'm a bask in this. I'm a
Mhm.
reap the fruits of my uh uh
Yeah. Yeah. And understanding who you don't want to be as a business.
mm,
I'm in a local small town, but I don't service the businesses here. My businesses are in the US. My businesses are across Canada. So I have struggled for years with this local business idea. And I'm like, well, I need to be a local business, but I really need to service more than that. So it wasn't until 2 weeks ago that I realized I'm not a local business. I'm just a business that's local. So that's
uh
that little switch was like,
hang on. Can you expand on that? I'm not a local business. I'm just a business that's local
yeah.
in
So
Canada.
yeah.
Okay.
So our area is called the Valley, right?
The
Everybody
valley.
refers to that. So there's a term here that says, are you a Valley business, which means, service local businesses. Well, I use the
Uh
term, I'm not a Valley business. I'm just a business in the Valley.
valley.
Right? So that's why I'm up
Yeah.
to the local side. So I
Huh?
work outside of the area. 95% of my clients are outside the area. But
Yeah.
how I feel that helping the community is I go out and I do workshops, I do talks, I go networking, not for sales. I just like, how can I help you today? Let's have a 20-minute, 30-minute conversation at this event. And I will give you 110% of the best information and advice I can, and I don't expect anything in return because I'm using the local area to give back and help because my clients they're just not here, they're in other areas.
I love it. I can relate to that because my podcast, I'm in Kuala Lumpur, but 98% of my guests are from the US. And my speakers and my audience are split into half Malaysia and the US. But now the US is like outweighing the Malaysian audience. See,
Yeah, there's no such thing as borders anymore
that's
when it
right.
comes to this
Yeah,
technology.
everything is seamless now. Okay, Shaun. So we're gonna pivot to a self-worth question because
Okay.
podcast talks a lot about self-worth. So the question for you: how do you define self-worth, and why is it crucial for personal growth and happiness?
Self-worth to me, and I didn't prepare for this question. Um, self-worth to me is what makes me feel good and what do I like to do. And to me, yes, I can create automation, I can do all that kind of stuff, but I will go through the day and something will be asked to me and I will solve a problem for somebody. And my mind will immediately be like, more people need to know this. So next thing I'm creating a YouTube video, I'm creating content, I'm putting out content that I never planned to put out that day because I need to get it out. And then I'll see comments come through the YouTube video. It's like, wow, that really helped me. I've been struggling with this. Like that is the best feeling ever that's there. The other thing, I don't have it next to me, but my son's 9 and they had a little exercise in school and it was like a little pennant thing and it was asking things about life. And it said, what do you want to be when you grow up? And I found it in his bag and it says, I want to be a blue cow. And to me,
Ah,
over at my other desk. Uh, and,
that is so sweet.
that to me knows that he's seeing like the
Mm,
lifestyle and the helping of people because we run into clients all the time and they're very positive and very exciting. So that's the self-worth there. It's not about the dollars in the bank. It's about the, the balance in the heart.
beautiful. Wow, thank you for that, Shaun.
You're welcome.
What is your heart's greatest wish?
There's so much, there's so much negativity and divide going on in the world. And I think my greatest wish is not necessarily on the business side, but the fact that, we now, like I said, have transcended borders with technology. I've met so many great people in other countries. Uh, I just want everybody to just be able to get along and not see, differences as negativity, but see them as opportunities for strength and growth. We're in a farming area here. We get a lot of foreign workers that come in from, Mexico, Jamaica, and whatever. But there's still a lot of people that like stay
Stereotyping them,
awake
like,
kind of thing.
yeah.
Look,
Mm-hmm.
'cause I do video production, so I'm out shooting on farms with
Yeah.
workers that are there, and there's so much community.
Mm,
There's the Jamaica singing in the field.
yeah.
They have so much culture that
Mm.
we can share together and just get along. And that's the part of it that I would love to see more of.
I was in the States just 3 weeks ago, and I can also attest to that. Like the Mexicans, and they are just so closely, tightly knit, and it's like
Mhm.
it blows me away. Like, of course, Malaysia has our own culture, and we're also very diverse here in terms of our races. But seeing that in different parts of the world is that it grounds me, and it just concludes that actually it's the same.
Mhm.
No matter where you go, it's the same. And people want need that belonging, that community, right? And some people might not be so ready and open to, especially welcoming
Mhm.
new people into their territory and whatnot. But
Yeah.
I can see there's definitely shifts happening
Mhm.
as we are, removing all of this borders, and yeah, and people are more aware, and the consciousness is, I think, slowly being raised as as the day
Mhm.
passes. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, when I went to build my team, it's near to impossible for me to find people local, right? To have,
Yeah.
they have the work
Yeah.
ethic. So, I have, oh, somebody knocking on my door. Can I just grab that quickly? Can we pause
Yeah.
this editing? I
Yeah.
just want
No
to answer the
worries.
question when I come back. Let me grab this.
Yeah. Yeah.
The only time they need a signature. Sorry about that.
That's
There's some
okay.
editing for you to do there. Um,
Yeah, I will. I
yeah.
think Riverside's clever enough to take that out, but okay, I will be sure to take that out.
So what I was saying was, it's near to impossible to find local people to work in the industry that I'm in.
Yeah.
So, as I was building my team, I'm looking overseas. I have a great young 21-year-old guy who's in Nigeria who does automation work with me. He's going to school to become a doctor, right? That's his aspiration, but he's really good on tech. He's really good at communicating. He's amazing. Uh,
Oh.
I worked at another company where I built a team of operations people that were in Turkey, right? So
Wow.
the work ethic of people outside of North America, I'm not saying everybody's this way, but the appreciation, the gratitude, the skills that are there, and even, the wage that's there. I mean, I pay above wage rates because I appreciate it. What I find is a lot of local people, they want super high salaries, and they don't have the dedication to stay and work and learn. So, I am 100% appreciative of people all around the globe that want to work and put in the effort.
Mhm. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Do you have a mantra that you live by, Shaun?
Good question. So there was a quote when I was younger that I heard. I didn't understand it first, but as you think about it, it stands out. And to this day, it still makes sense to me. And it says, if you can't change the people around you, you change the people around you.
I like
Right.
that.
And as I look back to all the different things, like, this is key in business. You will work with people that just do not appreciate the work that you do for them. You just, personality wise, you don't clash. And
Mm.
early on, you'll stay working with them because you're making revenue that you feel if you lost it, you would be kind of strapped. But you'll get
Mm.
to a point where you're like, we're just not a fit. And the ability to fire clients because of that is so empowering, right? So if you cannot change them, you have to change them, meaning changing at different people. That's
Yeah.
even friends. Unfortunately, family, you can't do that with, but, friends, team members, right?
Mhm.
It's what the term that they say is, you hire long, fire fast kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
Fire
I
long, fire
I did
fast.
I'm been certified. I still am with a company called Infusionsoft. They were Infusionsoft. They're now called Keep in Arizona. They are the ones that certified me in marketing automation, but they have a process in their business that when they hire at the 1 month or 2 month mark, they will come in and they will give the person a offer of, like, I think it's like $10,000 to quit. If you quit today, we'll pay you $10,000 beyond the way, because they know that people that live and breathe the culture and see the benefit of what they do, that offer is null and void.
Nothing.
They're like, no,
Yeah.
I'm not going anywhere. This is where I need to be. The ones that will take the money are not a fit for that business. And they've learned, like,
Wow, what
put
a way to
somebody in
test
place
loyalty.
costs them way more than $10,000
Yeah, if they
there, right?
Mm.
Right. That's the thing that we need to do. There are people that you will fit perfectly with, um,
Mm.
that you just need to keep around. And it's okay to know who you don't want to work with.
Wow, brilliant advice. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Okay. Now, if you could create a quote, since you mentioned quote, now if you could create a quote right now for you to leave to the audience listening and the world as your legacy, what would it be?
But I think you go down in the history of the toughest questions to drop on a guest.
I have been told a couple of
Oh my
times.
goodness.
I didn't mean to put you in the spotlight here, but this is the reason why I like it spontaneous from my guest.
Wow. Um, I don't know, but I mean, I think not to polish it, but I think it comes down to you need to be the 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 experience, the reputation, the feeling you leave with people needs to be something that when you're not in the room, that they talk positively about you, right? There's a way to kind of bring that together.
Oh my
Um,
God, I
right?
get you
So it's not what people say to your face. It's what people say when you're not there that matters, right?
about
And who do you
you.
want to be
How how do you
for that?
make them feel?
Oh, it all comes down to feeling. Everything you do, marketing, sales, like it all comes down to the feeling. We are human beings, and the ability to connect over products, services, people is emotional. It's how we feel, right? The emotions outpower the logic most of the time.
Yeah. People buy with emotion, justify
Yeah.
with logic.
And a great example, we're in a current election season here, like a
Oh yeah.
municipal town election season. I have a client that is running for mayor of a neighboring town.
Uh-huh.
I'm helping them with their campaign. And there's two other people, so three of them running for this. And she was out knocking on doors as you do in an election. And one of the ladies at the door said to her, "Is it true that your opposition is up to some negative things?" We'll say as that. And she said, the person said, "This is a yes or no question." And she said, "If that person was here in front of me, I would answer that. I will talk with them. I will never talk about them." And that answer, that lady was like, "You have my vote for that." It is all about your credibility, and how you conduct business. And I think that comes
Oh,
to it is, you may have feelings about people, but if you're willing to talk about them negatively when they're not there, that shows a lot about the character
oh
of,
yeah.
right? So, I mean, just hearing her say that, like I got emotional just standing there hearing her say that, because it's like this feeling came over me. I was like, "Wow, this is amazing," right? And that's what you need your clients to feel, is that you truly are honest, and you have the ability to say no if something's not a fit for them, right? There are so many people in marketing that'll just try to sell you because they think you'll say yes to it. Um, but I've been on consults where I'm like, I just don't think you need this right now, right? I think you still have some work to do. Here's what I would say: go do this, figure out who you are as a business, and let's talk in 6 months, right? Because then you'll be in a better position to put this in place, or do this kind of thing that you want to do, right?
Yeah. Yeah, because if you take them on prematurely as well, probably things might
Oh yeah,
yeah.
it never works out in the end,
Yeah.
right?
And it's gonna cost you time, the investment in the beginning
Yeah,
when
sure.
you
Sure,
can
the
actually
money's great immediately,
yeah. Yeah.
but you end up paying for it later.
Uh-huh. Wow, wow, wow. Thank you so much, Sean. What an episode. Whew. Okay. Now, I'm gonna leave this segment for you as well to let people know how can they reach out to you, so you can give them a
Yeah,
shout out.
absolutely.
Yeah.
So we mentioned it before, bluecowmarketing.ca.
Uh-huh.
And if you want to talk and have a virtual coffee, just add coffee to the end of that. So bluecowmarketing.ca/coffee.
Wow. And there you have it. Everyone, you heard it from the source. Before we wrap up, Sean, I'd like to thank you personally for the incredible work you're doing for the world. Despite the challenges, you continue to push forward, paving the way for those that will follow in your footsteps. Your dedication in your work is truly inspiring. And for our listeners, this has been that podcast with the provocative title, You're Worthless. Read that again. The juxtaposition of your very soul. If you've ever found yourself feeling worthless, you're not alone. But more importantly, ask yourself a deeper question. If I'm worthless, then why am I here? The truth is, your soul chose to be here energetically, coming all the way from the ethers. And for that reason itself, you are worthy and you are enough. And with that, this is Shaun Whynacht, our guest of the day. And I'm Nick Nyaras, your host, signing off. Thank you so much, Shaun, for your time.
Thank you for having